could help setting up motive wave stuff though. But it's really easy. Like it's not hard to do. And he's right. If you just try to do it yourself, you're probably better off because you're gonna learn about a lot of this stuff. For reversals, I've been liking low volume nodes. I think they work nicely, but obviously like the main levels that I use are balance extremes, which are going to be kind of chunks of high volume nodes. So in that sense, I think like the extremes of those obviously work a little better. But I do really like using like the low volume nodes in that balance, especially lately. But I mean, high volume nodes are also great, and they're also good targets because they're showing you like value. Usually take weekly VP or daily. In what context? My levels come from these volume profiles, so I don't use daily or weekly. But I mean, you can use both, obviously, like when it comes to like weekly context, um, week or when it comes to like high time frame context, then weekly is going to be better than daily because it's going to give you a sort of like better idea of the overall auction. But I'd say use both. Talk about TPO. Like, what about it? I don't think I can just like teach all of TPO right now. Yeah, I have a YouTube video on TPO. So, oh, and then identifying bad price. I mean, that's really that's kind of easy. I think a lot of people just kind of don't pay attention. Like if we're opening and we're just getting straight chop, then you're better off to try to identify like why that is. Because like today, or not today, but this day, this was Thursday, right? Bias was bearish, but it was still super choppy. And it's like you should just recognize that off the bat that it's choppy. Like you shouldn't be like ignoring that. I feel like that's kind of obvious. And if there's a reason as to why, which there usually is, then you can just be more cautious when you notice stuff like that. Obviously, we got a better move after all that. That was like 30 minutes into open. And then like yesterday, it was kind of the same deal for a while. Like, look at this. You're telling me that if you're seeing this, you're not acknowledging that it's bad price action? It's not like there's like some magic trick. You just need to look at it. And volume profile levels are going to be stronger than TPO levels. I mean, I'm looking at all my charts during New York Open. The DOM is like the DOM is the confirmation, you know, because that's where you're going to be seeing like if buyers are gaining control over the sellers or vice versa, or like this and that. Like that's where you're getting that confirmation. But obviously, I'm looking at my other charts as well because I need that other context in the moment. I don't use shelves really. Not alone.
I mean, lots of shelves kind of line up with the extremes, though. They tend to. So
Well, no, I mean
if it's like a
the
kind of,
extremes line up with the shelves, but there's plenty of
yeah,
shelves
well,
that don't
yeah,
align with the
mhm.
extremes.
That's what, yeah. It's like there could be like some like in the middle of balances that just don't make sense to take. But
Yeah. I think you should definitely have bid ask on your footprint. Total, like maybe I think bid ask and delta is probably the best way to go. When I open the charts, I don't like mark anything up. Like I don't have like levels that I mark every day. But what I do want to see is like where we are in relation to our fair value. So what that entails is like going on the TPO chart, seeing, so this is a weekly, right? But seeing wherever we're opening, where we are. So like the one day when we opened up here, like I saw that right away, and then that tells me right away that I want shorts because we are so far away from that fair value above it. So it's like right away I'm like, okay, I want shorts today. But if we're like here when I open the charts, then it's kind of like I'm not so sure. I'm gonna have to wait and see, and I might not even take any trades. And then you also want to look at this on like the daily, um, and it's kind of the same thing. Like you want to be seeing where you are in relation to that fair value on the daily charts as well. So if it might take a second to load. It's 5 tick interval, but it doesn't matter. The lower the better. It's not going to affect much. You should be learning microstructure. Time? What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. Do you know what he means, Shade?
wait, I wasn't looking. Let me see. What's a learn? Let's see. Oh, so he's talking about like the ones that you can like. He's saying what's the difference between
No, I was
the
talking about
anchored one.
the other
Oh wait,
one,
which one?
the
Hmm?
weekly time frame. It's always 30 minute.
Oh
You
no,
should
sorry.
never, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
30-minute blocks is standard.
Hmm.
Okay, wait. So the difference between the volume profile that's fixed. Oh, um, well, these like volume profiles here are always building on top of each other because they're going from a certain period back to current price, right? So they're always going to be building. But the ones like these, oh, it finally loaded. The ones like these are just, this is a day, this is a day, this is a day. So then you can kind of use those value area highs and value area lows as context for levels. So like if we're coming down, you can see here that we had an untapped value area low. This was from the TPO, but still, we came down and it actually made low of day on Friday. So you can use that to your advantage. And then back to what I do when I open the charts, right? Like just like the weekly, I'm looking at on the daily as well. Because like you can see once we come away from it, we usually return. So that's good context to have when you're getting on the charts in the morning. Like to see a little bit of an up move or or like I like to see a little bit of a move in the direction before I enter, just like as additional confirmation. But I do need to see like something like absorption before that in order for it to matter to me. So like if I saw absorption, if I saw absorption like here at this wick, um, let me zoom into. If I saw it like here, I probably wouldn't enter till I saw this bearish candle, and then that would kind of be my just a little bit of extra confirmation to enter. And then obviously the next candle went way further down. Lower time frame interval.
Damn.
What does that mean?
Oh, I think he's talking about like like the bars right there. Like, are they just 1 minute candles?
Just 1 minute candles.
I used to use volume, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. Just
Yeah, I think just using 1 minute candles is good. I think if you're using, unless you're just complicating it. Some people use Heikin-Ashi for aesthetics. I think that's stupid.
I use Heiken-Ashi.
Okay, well,
Yo, don't diss on Heiken-Ashi like that, bro. What the fuck?
uh, yeah, you want to be looking for like absorption, like pulling and
Uh,
stacking.
on TPO, so so I use RTH, me personally, RTH only. So I look where we open relative to previous day's value. There are multiple things. So that's the first one. I look where we open previous, due to in context with previous day's value. Also, I look for like just areas of support and resistance on the TPO. These are kind of also my levels. I use these in conjunction with like my low volume nodes and such. So, for example, like right here, you can see how many times we've came up into this area and rejected. I think I might have taken a short off of this level. I forgot or something. Right here, you see how many times we come up into it and bounce off. Also, this one's played out pretty well. This right here, I kind of keep it simple, bro, for TPO. That's really also this one down here. Yeah, so kind of just support and resistance levels on that. Not too much, to be honest, bro. Also, just to see like if we're in value. So like, say we're like trading right at POC, but I see like really good absorption. I'm probably not gonna take it. I want to see us like, traverse below value first if I want to look for longs, or above value, obviously. But I mean, if something's telling me otherwise, it's like TPO is not the main thing I use, so I don't pay too much attention to it. But yeah.
If you're new to order flow, I think you shouldn't be like you don't need delta dynamics or anything. You just can get motive wave, and that's really all you need as long as you buy the order flow package. So you have the order flow studies, and then for volume profile, I'm usually entering at the extremes of the balance, the extremes of the areas where we get that high level of agreement. So, and I have a YouTube video explaining it all as well, but it's like we have this massive chunk of agreement here,
Yo, True Ching,
but
I can
only
answer
entering
that.
at the edges.
So yeah, I kind of all my levels that I use on VP, I use for rejections. I use low volume nodes, shelves, and ledges. So like for example, you asked about shelves. How like Danny said at the extremes of balances. Danny, remember how I said like at the ends you could typically find shelves, right? Like this one right here. It's kind of taper. If I see it's reacted before, like right here, I kind of have that marked out and I use it. So basically, what I do for my levels, I like to verify them to see if they've worked in the past. Like for example, this low volume node right here. If we trade up, I might pay attention to this one. You see, we got a nice bounce off of it. Maybe earlier we did as well. Yeah, like a few times right here. So all of the levels that I use, I make sure that they were tested before. But like you were asking about a shelf, so like this one on the 90-day VP, also the yearly, it kind of lines up right there. We got a strong bounce off it, right? AMT, you kind of, or what I do is look to play what's expected, what we've done already, until we've had clear initiation the other way. So like once we break past below this level, I'm just until we do, I'm gonna look to play off of it for longs again, if that makes sense. But once we get seller initiation below this, I could probably use this like as a retest level, if that makes sense, to play down into this balance, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I use them for like context and levels. Yeah, bro. Okay, buddy.
Like Jaden's alright explaining stuff, and
That's
I
nah.
I would have to like think about a weekly thesis, but I usually don't do them, to be honest. Like not even for myself.
Yeah, I take it day by day. That's kind of what I do. I mean, I kind of look like on Sunday where we're trading at, but
Yeah, I mean, I think
yo,
having a weekly thesis can be useful, but it's not necessary.
yes, failed auctions, bro. Those give great risk reward setups, bro. Like if you look on Danny's chart right now on his VP, you can see how if you see that long wick into that upper balance, that's a failed auction right there. And if you caught that, you would have you would have banked. I don't think I caught that though.
There, I labeled it for you guys.
Mm.
And it's a failed auction because price started to kind of accept outside of this balance and try to auction into the next balance to find a sort of agreement between buyers and sellers up there. But once we started going into that new balance, they didn't really agree at the price, so the auctioning stopped continuing higher and failed. And then we went back lower into the previous balance, and we almost traversed the entire thing after that, like right away. You can see. Here's like another example. We didn't quite get into the other balance, but it's kind of a zone. So, but yeah, we get this massive wick, which, if you trade ICT, that's a rejection block. It's just a fail. Dude, I answered those questions. No, I don't use shapes. I think it's kind of. I think when people include like the shapes into their like education, that isn't really that useful. Like like it sounds useful in theory, but at the end of the day, if you're just understanding auction market theory, then it's you're not like looking at like, for example, this profile and you're being like, oh, that's a B shape. Well, no. You're just looking at it and seeing, okay, so the day opened and we balanced at the bottom, and then we trended higher and had a failed auction at the top. So it's like you don't need to like be identifying the shapes and then taking context for that. I really think it's like one of the most useless things ever. Or like calling this like this is just a balanced profile, right? Like it's nothing more than that. So that's my take on it. Best way to learn microstructure. Um, Trade the DOM, watch videos on specifically microstructure. I did write about it a bunch in my Notion, but I also included a video series, I think, or something of sorts. Like I just
There's
realized
if you want to get
half
like
of my
really deep in
information
it,
is gone.
there's like a Danny. Do you know that one book? It's like the really long PDF. It's like the theory of microstructure one. Uh,
Uh, I think so.
market microstructure. Fuck, market
Here, wait, yeah,
microstructure theory.
this
Yeah, if you really want to get, I've heard that's a really good one for the like just to like really get into
this series is good
microstructure.
too. But yeah, the book he's talking about.
I've heard.
Both
I
of
think
them.
they post. I learned that from ODT, the ODTE server. I think I might start reading it. I'll try reading it.
Yeah, it's in the Notion.
Yo, wait, dead ass, bro. The leader of Iran is dead.
Yeah.
What? Oh my goodness, bro.
Dude, I told you guys yesterday because I had insider information. I
Dude,
bet no one trusted me either.
dude. Okay, I
No one.
believe
Next time, listen to me.
you.
Person's mad. You didn't listen to me. Dude, the perks of being in TES, I guess. Got any more questions, guys? Outside of Iran? Damn, it's like crickets in here, guys. Come on. Yeah, he's even playing the cricket thing.
Listen, bro. Hop on your PC.
Uh,
Oh, I forgot. You said.
he's got people in this room or something. Well, if there's no more questions, we're just gonna have to end it, guys. So, yeah, I say take advantage of it. This would only be half the length of the one last night.
Facts, bro. We did this. There were more questions last night.
Yeah, the other one was an hour long.
Elias, you too, bro. Oh my God.
No, there's new people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's new people in here, though. How do you feel after we?
Like I just won a trade and I made some money. That's how I feel. Like I just made a 2 week salary in a day.
Yo, Kendrick, you got any questions, bro?
When you're in a big balance on the long-term composites, how do you know which balance or high volume node within that balance to use for intraday trades? Well, I don't use high volume nodes in balance for intraday trades. I use the extremes of the balance for intraday trades. But I do like using the low volume nodes sometimes. And it's really just about having that confirmation on like the DOM to verify when those low volume nodes are going to work. Because obviously every single one of them can't work. But that's why my primary levels are just the balance extremes, because it's so little to work off of, and they usually have pretty high win rates. So less is more at the end of the day, in my opinion. My key levels are the extremes. Yeah, exactly. Because when we come to the extreme of a balance, right, the balance is defined as agreement. So buyers think price is fair, sellers think price is fair. When we stretch above it, sellers are going to think price is high, buyers are going to, and buyers are going to think price is high, right? So buyers won't buy and sellers will sell, and that causes down moves. And then vice versa, right? If we go down, sellers are going to be thinking it's too expensive, and buyers are going to be thinking it's too expensive. Or not, oh my god, I sound retarded. Too cheap. Sellers are going to be thinking it's too cheap, and buyers are going to be thinking it's too cheap. So then buyers are going to be buying, sellers are going to stop selling. That pushes price up. So the extremes of this balance give you an idea of where that's going to happen. Where sellers are going to think that it's a good place to sell, or where buyers are going to think it's a good place to buy. And that's why it works. I don't think AMT alone has, or AMT is not an edge in itself, but the like how it works can't really fade because of the fact that the market is an auction.
It's the framework,
And yeah,
not a.
and any natural any natural market that's run by buyers and sellers has to find a point that they agree. They have to find equilibrium. They always will find equilibrium, because that's just how natural markets work. And obviously, a market can't be in a state of efficiency 100% of the time. S&P 500, NASDAQ, they are super efficient markets, but there's going to be a lot of inefficiencies that you can take advantage of, and those inefficiencies are those points at which we're not at equilibrium.
Jay, I feel like kind of what I said earlier, if you were there to see it. So shelves that have played out in the past, because AMT, the whole thing, it really is just support and resistance. It's like Danny said, eventually there's going to reach points where buyers are going to step in and points where sellers are going to step in, right? So whenever you trade AMT, you're trading what's expected, right? From what you've seen in the past until you see otherwise, like this level that I showed earlier, this shelf right here that's played out. So whenever we come down here, I'm going to look for it to play out again, unless if, sellers on the DOM are initiating. So that's kind of what I do. I mean, you really could mark out every shelf, but I mean, that's just, some people do that, but I'm just not for me. There's somebody ban Tristan, bro. Yeah, literally. If I've seen, I've seen um in the past a shelf holding like what, like three times, and then it'll get like, for example, say where is it? Say we do come back down to the shelf and we run through it, it could still act as what do you call it? Resistance whenever we come up back to it. Levels, in my experience, levels can last like a really long time, you know what I mean? But of course, there's eventually gonna like reach a time where the VP starts to change, and there's gonna be you're gonna start to see more volume in there in the first place, and that's when I would start to like not look out for that level anymore. But until I still see like a clean, like low volume node, a clean shelf that's still getting respected every so now and then, I'm still gonna have it up. Uh, Also for the multiple volume profiles. So mainly, I kind of explained this last night too. The main one I'm looking at is the left one. It's the yearly. Obviously, like Danny said earlier, you want to prioritize like higher time frame balances. Those tend to hold more. Mm, how do you say it? Like more like important levels that tend to play out more, as opposed to like smaller balance areas like on the weekly. So like for example, this is the 2 week, 30 day, and then 90 day, and then yearly. The one on the left is, oh wait, am I tripping? Yeah, yearly. So I kind of, I'm like I said, I mainly use this one, but I'll also look for levels that play out on smaller balances too. And also, if I'm marking out like an entire balance area on the yearly, but I can't find like a good, like a good extreme to set the end of the balance, I'll kind of verify with these balances right here. So, like for example, the yearly, if you look at this upper balance right here, there's not like a really good spot to place the bottom end of that extreme. So I'd look over here to verify. Like you can see on the 30 day right here, we have like a clean like shelf, a clean fall off of volume. So for now, I'll set it right here. So I kind of use it to like verify extremes of the main balance right here, or just other support and resistance levels that I see play out on them. Like for example, right here, we have this kind of like this ledge right here, and we bounced off of it once, so I'll mark that out. It's worth noting. It just gives you more
That just said
context.
he hasn't seen anyone use a yearly volume profile.
For
That's the most
Yeah, no,
insane statement I've heard. You
a
must be in
lot
the
of
wrong
people,
servers, man.
a lot of people use it yearly.
Oh yeah, you're in data, bro. Server's retarded. Everyone is stupid. I don't blame you for not seeing.
Yeah, bro, it's really
I'm like any good order flow trader is going to be volume profiles, most likely more than TPOs. Because at the end of the day, volume profiles are showing actual like transacted volume, which directly correlates to like the microstructure of the bid and ask, while the TPO is just showing you time spent. The markets are only going to be at high vol or at all time highs like one day every month. Like there's no, it's not like a crazy thing where it's like when we're at all time highs, we're creating a new high every hour. Like that's not how it works.
I hear some people say whenever we're at all-time highs, that's when they look at gamma exposure and those Greeks more. I don't know why exactly, but I've heard some people
Yeah,
say that.
because yeah, that makes sense. Just because you're getting like people are placing bets on prices where we haven't even reached.
Yeah,
So
like those walls will probably hold more. So what you're
yeah,
saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
Asking about gold. I haven't ever traded gold. Can't can't say anything for certain. Just look at your gamma, if you're long or short. That should give you a good idea of the regime.
How do I set my like? Do you just want to know the time frames, or like how to actually put them on the chart? How to put them on? Yeah, I got you, bro. Okay. So for the last one, right here. Hold on. Let me save this as default. Just okay. So for
I'll be
example,
right back.
all right. So I'm gonna just delete it for now. Okay. So you go up here to study. I'm sure you know how to add a study, right? This little button right here. Type volume profile like that, and you add it on. So it might not look exactly like this. You might have to mess around with the settings, but for the one on the left, I obviously align with left. The width, I would turn it up to like 250 so you can see the balance areas more clearly. Because whenever it's at like 100, the lines are like super small. It's harder to see. The colors, bro, you just do whatever you want with those. It doesn't matter. But for these ones right here, let me see. Like I'll set this one up, for example. So I'm gonna delete it. So this is the 14-day one. So you go up here, add another volume profile. For this one, that was a 14-day, right? So you go to 14 and display, you align it to the right, right? So whenever you first add it on, it's going to be all the way to the right. But what you have to do is go to the setting that says offset, this one right here. I forgot exactly what it was at, but just play around with it. Yeah, something like that. I think it was at like 500. Just play around with it until like it's far enough on the screen. So for example, whenever this offset is not going to be as far, right? Like, yeah, this one's 250, and then this one, I think there's no offset on this one. Yeah, you just repeat it, bro. Just how you like it on your charts. You don't have to do this multiple like volume profile thing. I just do because it makes sense for me. Yeah. Oh shit. But yeah, bro. Let me see. Oh, I didn't know that. Dude, how you open trades? Yo, I know Danny isn't here. He could probably answer that for you whenever he comes back. But basically, for high RR trades, right? They're most likely going to be failed auctions or balance extremes. So, like for example, if price came up here and I caught this short, I would probably just target this POC. I could either target the POC, or I could take a partial there and go to the other ends, because in auction market theory we tend to traverse the entire balance areas, but sometimes that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So if you were to get out right here, this would still be good risk reward. So yeah, basically targeting like high volume nodes, in my experience, is what works best, because that's where um yeah, VWAPs too. Anything that just represents fair value, right? Because we tend to revert there a lot. Yeah. Okay. So what I do for the time frames on mine, everybody's a different ones. Like Danny's lowest one is like 30, and then he has like, I don't know, what is it, 90, and then 180. But I tend to focus on like smaller balance areas a little bit more. So like 14-day, and then 30-day, and then 90, and then this one on the left is always 365. 80% chance, yeah, something like that. Obviously, it doesn't always work, but if you leave, that's really, bro. That's how you really get like a lot of money, bro. Leaving those runners, like you can catch good risk reward trades, bro. But whenever you understand, like playing at the edges of balances and trusting that price sometimes might chop in the middle right here, but eventually it's probabilities on your side, right? That we reach the other side of the balance. So that's how you catch those really insane trades. Price runs through an extreme, yeah. So like, if price runs through an extreme, that means we're imbalancing, right? So I can expect price to move to the next sort of fair value. Like for example, it's like say
Okay.
you caught that. Yeah, what's up? So like say we didn't right here. I can find an example. Like right here, whenever we had that huge dump on, what was it, like Thursday or Friday? You know, whenever say you were trying to catch a long right here for whatever reason, obviously you would have gotten taken out easily. I mean, this is like an exaggeration because this was just like a huge dump. But then, yeah, you could expect to move to the new balance. That makes sense. And then, yeah, we stop like at the high volume node right here and just start chopping around for a little. So you can tell we've accepted into this balance. Now you could play off the extremes of this one. Yeah, order flow. watching that. Yeah. For Danny's. Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay, so for the low volume. Okay, so that one right there. So what I kind of do is technically, yeah, it is a low volume node, but it's not as prominent, right? Because according to auction market theory context, it's right, it's still like in the middle of balance. And if I were to go to that same low volume node on my chart, even if I were to mark that out, I don't really see much clean rejections off of it. Like I guess like right here, because that's kind of what I do, right? Mark low volume nodes based off support and resistance, but I still wouldn't go about that because it's still kind of right in the middle of the highest time frame balance too, which is just like not like super probable because it's just like right next to these high volume nodes too. High volume nodes we tend to chop around, so yeah, honestly, I would just kind of leave that be. But yeah,
Yeah, that's just like a automatically marked one. I didn't check there. Well, it's not like I had that as a level. New York was the best. Don't
yeah,
trade overnight.
yeah. But Danny, should we do these more or no?
I didn't realize people would like it so much. I guess the last one we did though was like at 300 members, so it was a lot less people. Now that I think about it, we've never had a server this big because Jordan's was only 700. TPO is really good for like your bias and your context, like seeing the relation to fair value and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to like the precise levels, you're gonna find like more consistency on the volume profile. But that's not to say that TPO levels don't work some of the time, right? Because we see
Yeah,
that they do.
if you watch somebody like Rizzo uses like basically mainly TPO. I'm pretty sure for levels and context.
No, he uses balance extremes.
Really, off like VP?
He just uses TPOs for like auction market theory, like context,
Oh,
and
whenever
he
I could have swore I used to watch him like a while ago. I thought he made like levels based off the extremes on TPOs. I don't know.
mm-mm. It's,
No, I didn't really know.
or I
But
mean
yeah,
maybe he does, but at the end of the day, it's like just the same like balance extremes.
true.
And he also uses like other kinds of stuff as levels, which can be good, like a prior all time high can be a good level.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Stuff like that, opening gaps, that kind of stuff can be good.
Yumi, I feel like that's something I sometimes struggle with too, but that just comes with trusting your levels because absorption can happen anywhere, and sometimes you'll see like really clean absorption at a point that's not exactly at a level for me, I would. That's not something I would take because you just have to trust that. Like, just kind of think about it like this. Like I said, absorption happens anywhere. So I just kind of wait for my key levels to get hit. Then I start really paying attention to the DOM because I would used to like watch the DOM like constantly, and I would want to, I would think I would see something. You
Yeah, you
think you
get like
see,
confirmation
yeah,
bias because you
exactly,
want to see stuff, so you do.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I used to struggle with that, and I sometimes still do, but just gotta trust your context and your
And
levels and
also,
stuff.
absorption can get retested, which makes it
Mm.
kind of difficult to like because then if it does, then you're like it's going back to it, and you're unsure till it gets there if it's just going to keep going or if it's actually just going to respect that absorption again. So it can be kind of difficult, and at the end of the day, like you can't predict everything 100% because nothing in trading is 100%. Even a true mechanical edge over the market is not going to be 100%. So you just like Jaden said, you really need to have trust in your levels, and you can't like make up absorption or think you see it somewhere where it doesn't matter, right? You need to have it at your level, and if it doesn't work, then it could have been an error in your reading of the DOM, or sometimes it just doesn't play out properly. But yeah, confirmation bias is a huge thing too, and that's also why I keep my levels off my chart. Like if you'll notice on my execution chart, I don't have any of my levels because what can happen is price gets to your level and you want to see something on the DOM because it's at your level. Uh, you want to make things up. You want the level to work. You want to be right. But if you don't have your levels on your chart, then you're going to be seeing stuff on the DOM, and then if you see something on the DOM, then I check where my levels are, and if I see, oh shit, we're right at my level, then I know like I didn't have any confirmation bias looking at the DOM because I didn't even know we were at the level till after. You can either backtest or depending on the model, you can use Python. It's not super difficult to get into. Uh,
Bro, recently I used to have the standard deviation bands on the view up too. I took them off because it also kind of went for my confirmation bias. Like if I saw we were going to positive two VWAP, because I noticed that we would reject off of it a lot. It would kind of like make me like a little like antsy, like I want to take a trade there, even though we weren't at like a TPO level or a VP level. You know what I mean? So
I
I
just
kind of took it off, and I've been taking like less trades. You know what I mean? It's kind of helped. I just have
yeah,
the
I mean
VWAP mean only now.
I like having the stuff from the data, or I just didn't want because it's kind of private sauce, I guess.
Yeah, kind of.
I've
You
never
mean
used
also
any.
like speed of like who's getting rewarded, who's not. If you're seeing a bunch more people like in the yeah, bro, Moda. I took them off, bro, and it actually helps so much. Just look if we're like generally away from just look if we're generally away from the VWAP bands, not at a certain deviation band. No, but yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, kind of like who's getting rewarded, who isn't, you know? And that kind of also goes back to me saying like I don't really look at the DOM until we start to get close to a key level, because I can't really explain the patterns that I see, because that's just so like discretionary. But they're just things that you notice from looking at your wins and losses a lot of times. But you'll get there soon. Yeah. Bro, Danny, I'm gonna show you something, bro. I've been like, yeah, I mean, me too, mode, and there's nothing really wrong with that, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to go for like higher risk rewards setups, like kind of like bottom and top ticking. Oh, what I realized
Reversions
too
are really like
recently.
the best way to trade AMT.
Yeah, no, exactly. You don't exactly like Danny. You know how you don't exactly always catch the top. Like you don't, your stop doesn't always have to be right at that bottom or top, but you can still catch a good risk reward. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That just comes from learning how to play off rebidding and reoffering. That really helps.
I think speed is more prominent on the tape than the DOM because you're seeing like the actual speed of buy and sellers individually. And that's why you have indicators like the speed of tape, right? Which are literally just measuring how fast buy and sell orders are coming in. But when the DOM is moving quicker, just like the tape, you're gonna see quicker moves and like more volatility. So I mean, I don't super pay attention to the speed on the DOM, but I do a bit on the tape personally.
Speed because to answer, well, for me personally, what I kind of see it. I mean, yeah, size obviously, but if you're seeing a lot of size for sellers, but there's no speed, that means they're not getting rewarded. If that makes sense. Like if we're not like ticking down, that tells you something, right? So of course you could look at size all you want, right? But if you're not seeing who's getting rewarded from that size, then you're kind of missing out. If I don't know if that makes does that make sense, Danny? Like what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because generally, like if we're coming up into a key level, right, and you're seeing a hella buyers, right, popping up, like huge size, like you're seeing 500, 500, 500. And price keeps ticking up with speed, right? That just means they're getting rewarded. You know what I mean? But if you see 500, 500, 500, they're not getting rewarded, and then you start seeing aggressive selling on the tape. You know, like say for example, like you see exactly this, and then price starts down ticking. That's usually whenever I enter, and then I wait for like a point or two, and we're still like down ticking, kind of. That's kind of what I see on the tape and the DOM for like correlating the speed and size. You know. But Dan, I want to show you something. I've been messing around with like on VS Code a little. Just like making my own little things. I'll show you. Like, like look what I made earlier. I made like a little guessing game. Because I'm just trying to like get back to like the basics. So it's like right here. Guess a random number between 1 and 20. So like pick one.
2, 4, 19, 16. Oh wait, I didn't even see the higher and lower.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, I guess it doesn't matter. All the guesses.
yeah. You were still doing it. No.
Uh,
Pick one more.
I would have guessed differently then. Okay, 9.
Oh shit! You got it. Let's try.
Oh, that was such a snipe. Oh my
Yeah, that
god.
was. No, bro. At least, what do you mean? I am locked in. This is. I'm locked in on coding, bro. No, but dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like coding this stuff is like so fun, bro. I forgot how
Literally
fun
just
coding can be.
telling anyone to lock in is the most ironic thing ever.
Thanks, at least, bro. Yeah, and I'm gonna optimize it a little, like make it a little more advanced. Like maybe say I don't know, but like just make it a bit more complicated. Yeah, no problem, bro.
Yeah, I use delta profiles a bit. I mean, I have one on my DOM too, but I don't use it like a ton, but I do like having it because sometimes we'll have like a lot of. You can see we have a lot of positive delta here. So if I'm like in a long, right, and I see all this positive delta, then that just kind of gives me more confidence that it'll keep going. And then delta can also be a good spot for like stops, right? So if I was short, like let's say at right here at this negative 932, then I would feel good about putting my stop right above it. And then let's say if I was trailing, so if I was in up here, but then we're all the way down here, I would be good putting my stop above like this negative 535 and negative 632. Because most likely what will happen when we go back there is sellers are going to defend the position again. Yeah, they could be, but I mean, this is really just showing, in a sense, how aggressive buyers and sellers were. I mean, there's a bit more to it than that, but in simple terms. So it's really just about hoping that that aggression will stay. Is that it, guys? We got other questions? Oh, I guess Elias is recording. Great for you
Wait,
guys.
Danny, you weren't recording?
No, Elias was.
No.
I didn't record the one last night. I did two for a reason, so people can. All right, guys. If you have any more questions, ask them now, because I'm gonna leave. If you don't, not in a mean way, just wanna, got other stuff to do. Tick
It
interval
has
for what?
nothing to do.
Like tick interval for footprint or volume profile or TPO or DOM. Like there's a lot. I'll just do one. One on both.
Yeah, no problem, bro. We'll probably do another. Danny, do you think we should do these soon or another one soon?
Should we do these like every weekend? Maybe.
It's up to you.
Me and Jaden are also starting our mentorship, guys. So it's gonna be like $6,000, and yeah,
Yeah.
pretty affordable because we love you guys.
I'm too crazy.
Like, I think higher time frame volume profiles prioritize more. Once a week. Yeah, I mean, we might do once a week. Maybe I'll think about it. The problem with it is, um, a lot of the same questions get asked, so it's kind
I mean,
of.
we'll also have
I think it
our
can be.
server's still growing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it can be useful on like a personal basis for you guys, but I don't know how useful it is almost as like a group because I feel like like I said, a lot of the same questions get asked, which
Wait,
is
what the?
not your guys' fault, obviously, because a lot of people wonder the same things. So I'll give it some thought. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
if there is
There's
another one, I'll
nothing
let you guys
else.
know.
I think I'm gonna hop off now, but